Hey guys, welcome to another 6 Stages Gaming video, and today I have for you a really spicy Fire Wind Unblockable deck. We did this very early on in the channel, and with Opus II it's getting a little bit more support, so I really want to take another look at this deck, kind of see what it would look like towards the end of Opus I, and give everyone a starting point looking towards Opus II, where it gets certainly a couple more tools. So this deck is all about staying low to the ground, clearing the way for our unblockable characters, and making sure that they can hit for the damage that they need to. So first we're going to talk about the forwards, then we're going to talk about the summons and wrap it up with the backups. So let's get right into it. Starting with the forwards, we have Cloud. This is really just used as discard fodder for the 6-drop, so we'll talk about that in a moment. One of Onion Knight, it's really more or less just the 4th Tifa in the deck, in the sense that it's something you can play on turn 1 if you're going first and has haste, so it can attack. In a perfect world, you're playing both Tifa and this on turn 1, so you're starting off the game with 2 points of damage, but it's ultimately a card that you can't play multiples of because you're going to be stuck with them in your hand, and it's an absolute feel-bad moment. Moving into a couple of the unblockable teams, we're playing a 3 of the 1-drop Yuffie. Can't be blocked by a forward, cost 3 or more. It is only a 3k, so it does die to a lot of AoE-based effects, but again, our focus is making the board state able for our characters or our forwards to be able to swing through for damage and not have to worry about it. So there's many cards that help us do that. Playing the 3 of Zidane, not much needs to be said about this card. 2-drop 3k, but it can't be targeted by summons or abilities, so it's great as the last attacker as you're going for that 7th point of damage. Because once you hit on the 6, he can't be affected by it, and can't be blocked by 4 or more. So again, you can kind of see the overall theme to it. As I mentioned, we're also playing Tifa. We're playing the 2-drop version because we have several cards that, if we play this on turn 1 and they follow up with an 8k, we have technically 6 different, well more, but 6 ideal ways that we can deal with their forward and not lose a great deal of tempo because they spent way more resources in doing so. And again, just because it has haste, it's great for getting those couple early points of damage. Lan is absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favorite forwards, fire forwards I should say, in the game, strictly because of how good it is and how versatile it can be about getting under your opponent's forwards. Speaking of that, we have Red 13. The cute thing about this is we can buff our opponent's forward to make the way unblockable for Lan, or if we just really need to boost Tifa, let's say, so your opponent is going to lose something in the process, or maybe they played a 6k and now suddenly Tifa is bigger. Red 13 allows us to pump our team or work the board in a way where his plus 3k pump is going to help us out. He's also a Final Fantasy VII forward, which we'll see is going to help out with our Cloud. But again, just the 3k boost has been surprisingly more relevant than I gave it credit for. We're also playing a 2 of the 3-drop Yuffie. This is going to be ideal in some matchups where if it's going long and it comes to this really weird board state, what you're able to do is do things like Yuffie and Red 13, combine them together, and do 9k to 2 of their forwards, or you can split out that damage into some 8ks and worry about that way, so you can kill 7 and 2 8ks, if math serves me right. It allows you for more flexibility, and again, it's just another great unblockable forward, so if we're stuck and we don't have a lot of ways to bring back or find more of the 1-drop Yuffies, we can certainly play this and then use the special as needed as the game calls. But ultimately, the 1-drop Yuffie is going to be doing a little bit more for you. As a 4-drop, we're playing Furion, the ping version. Again, when we're playing a deck that has these early aggressive drops that can get outclassed, or we have to worry about what our opponent will be playing, if you play a turn 1 Tifa and then play this on turn 2, even if you have to spend 2 resources to do it, you get to kill their forward and be left with an 8k body on the field. The tempo swing that that's going to generate can be very, very difficult for your opponent to come back from. So that card has been surprisingly well in really all the aggro-focused fire decks. And then lastly, we are going to talk about Cloud. Because we are playing mostly a Final Fantasy VII deck, this one just made sense. His special is great because we can still kill an 8k. It's a 9k that you're playing for more likely than not as a 4-drop, if not cheaper, that can really make this deck shine. And it's worth noting that his ability does give your forwards plus 1,000, so if your Red 13 is going to become an 8k, your Furion is going to become a 9k. The power boost that he gives is surprisingly relevant and not to be overlooked. So I think this card Didn't get enough love early on, and I'll completely admit that I missed it too. But in the more aggressive-based decks, especially if you're playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII forwards already, it's absolutely a key play. As I mentioned, this deck wants to be all about clearing the board and making sure that our unblockable guys can go through. Bahamut Fury is a great way to clear the board. However, I think this is one of the premier cards that's going to be getting changed for the other summon. And I forget the name, but I'll try to find a link and put it in the comments down below. It's a 2-drop summon that gives something plus 1,000 power, first strike, and draws you a card. Is just absolutely absurd how good that is. And having those battle tricks in red allows you to, your opponent's going to think that they have a safe block, and then you're going to be able to get the advantage on them by being able to play it. Not to be missed, it's also an EX burst, so that's something that we should be in favor of, which is why we have Brynhildr. Still a staple in red decks going forward. I fully expect this to be a 3-of in every red deck. Even with the next set, it's just 7,000 damage deals with a lot of forwards your opponent is going to be playing, and anytime you can play this for free, or it's fairly cheap in its cost, it's going to help us take care of those problematic forwards that could block our otherwise unblockable forwards. And then lastly, a 2 of Bahamut. This is really just for late game. If your opponent sets up a board where you maybe have like a Zidane and Yuffie, and they were able to play a couple of low drop forwards where they might be able to wall off your attack, you just slam on Bahamut, take care of those last 2 forwards, and then you get in those last 2 points of damage no matter what. So Legend Bahamut is certainly another card that's probably going to be here to stay depending on the deck. Moving into the backups, we play a 1 of Green Evoker, and we are playing 3 Evokers. Going forward, I really would, and I have to look at the spoilers for Opus II a little bit more in detail, but as we've been playing this a lot more, as you saw the Fire Earth aggro deck that we featured, these Evokers do make more and more sense, especially when you're playing something like Bahamut at the top curve, because it does help streamline your plays and make your turns a lot smoother. So that's why we are playing a little heavier backup version, but we are featuring the Evokers. 2 red Evokers, same reason. Another card that helps assemble Unblockable is Red Mage. We're playing 3 strictly because of how important it is. Choose a forward. It cannot block this turn. So again, even if they play something that could block your forwards, you just say, nope, that 3-drop can't block. The rest of my team is getting through. Absolutely an important card to see every turn. Another card I've been very surprised with, or pleasantly surprised, is Black Mage. Again, when we're playing things like Tifa, Onion Knight, just having this on the board can pressure our opponent and make them think about what they're going to be blocking with, because if this is on the board, chances are they're going to be losing it. For win backup, we play 3 of the Archer. It's really in here just because we needed another 2-drop. Certainly being able to kill certain backups is going to be beneficial as well, and I think going forward it's certainly going to help out as well. Being able to break anything 3 or less is certainly going to catch a number of different backups your opponent could be playing. And for example, it breaks Aerith, which we are also playing, and is something that you very likely need to take care of if you're trying to deal damage to their forwards and get them out of the way for your unblockable guys. 1 of the 2-drop Aerith, and that's strictly just so we can play 3 of this Aerith, because Planet Protector is absolutely insane. Again, things like land, things like Yuffie, you just need to protect them at certain points in time. So being able to play a Planet Protector to effectively cancel your opponent's legendary Bahamut can be an absolute blowout, and we have done that a couple times on the Duel series. So with that in combination with the fact that it untaps 3 backups when you play it, so you can set up these amazing tempo plays where you have 3 backups in play, you play Aerith, you untap them, then play like a land, for example, it puts you very far ahead in that game. So in terms of Opus II staples, or what's going to be the decks going forward, I can absolutely see that staying. And then lastly, we have Land's Best Friend. It's an EX burst, so it lets you tutor it up. Again, just very important for being able to find it. And it does some very interesting things in combat where they go to block, you can buff it, it's going to survive combat, and land is just going to be able to keep swinging for the win. So that's all we have for this video, guys. That is the, sorry about that, the Windfire Unblockable deck, kind of an updated version for Opus II as we go forward and what we might be able to spec. So what have you guys built for Opus I? I know we have a little bit of a delay, unfortunately. That's going to make us have some more time with Opus I, so we're going to play around with it, maybe do some more fun brews, maybe base some decks on kind of starting points for Opus II like this one. Maybe we'll do Wind Ice next. If you're in the UK or Japan watching this, you know, we are very jealous. Please send some product our way. We will greatly appreciate it. But again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys are going to be playing with Opus II. Maybe give us some ideas of what decks you want to be playing or you want us to preview for you based on Opus I. And then make sure to always comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. We really do appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next 6 Sages Gaming Deck Spotlight. Have a good one.